What's good, you guys? You know who it is, man. It's your boy, Mr. Relentless Lex, and I'm back like I never left this mother. Yes, Sirski. Hello, somebody. All right, we got, this is on the Oppressive channel, bro. If y'all want to go see the full video without me talking in it, then hey, go ahead over there. But this is what I do. I react. Not I give my commentary on it, right? A lot of y'all be saying, yo, Lex, you talk too much. Let the video play. But come on now. I'll let it play as much as possible. But, so we got Barack Obama, no Diddy drug mule. Diddy extorted Cassie's mom. New escort tells it all in court, right? So we're going to jump straight into it. It's 5:38 in the morning. I'm a little tired. It's going to be my last video. I'm going to take me a nap, get back on it. So listen, guys, I'm back like I never left. I'm dropping these videos, but I'm going to need you guys to do me a favor and smash that like button. Rock 'em, sock 'em, bro. Rock 'em, sock 'em to the like button. It helps the algorithm a whole lot. Let's get it. Spice.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, hold on. Can't get it because I don't got my headphones on, see? I'm so ready. Because of the title, I forgot to put my headphones on. Silly rabbit. Tricks is for kids. All right. Spicy number 2.
Welcome to the Impressive channel. It's time to give more updates on P. Diddy's Freako trial. I'm tired of this trial already.
She said Freako.
It's just too much. It's too much. But just to
Freako
recap,
trial.
P. Diddy is facing racketeering, trafficking, and prostitution charges. And last week, his ex-girlfriend of almost 11 years, Cassie, took the stand and she exposed all the horrors that he put her through. And I did do a couple of videos recapping all she said. He was out here flexing his power and he was carrying out his crimes and using his network of people to help cover up his crimes. He was accused of bribery and he attempted to bribe the security guard to cover up the beatdown.
Man, Diddy been doing crimes all his pallet half of his life, bro. This is now he just only getting caught.
That he gave Cassie at the Intercontinental Hotel. He was already guilty of transporting escorts to engage in prostitution, and he had his main escort.
Bro, is those all the escorts? What?
Cassie pay off these escorts, and also he used travel agents to fly escorts in.
Hello, the dude down in the left bottom hand corner. Where he at? On my left. He look like Babyface a little bit. Back in the days. The dude with the in the corner, my left corner. Just got the brightest smile, got his teeth showing. That nigga favored the old Babyface.
For the freak off.
Whip appeal.
Not to mention, he was accused of arson. He made threats and had people blow up Kid Cudi's car. He also used abuse, threats of violence, and coercion to intimidate Cassie. He would blackmail her and threaten to release her ex tape if she didn't fall in line. So there's a slew of things that Diddy has been accused of so far. And in my opinion, I do think it supports the case that the prosecutors have against him. But we'll see how this whole thing continues to pan out. Let's get into day 6 and 7 of the trial. It's a doozy once again. We left off with Don Richard's testimony against Diddy. Now, if you don't know, Don was signed to 2 groups under Diddy, one named Danity Kane and another one named Dirty Money. She worked with Diddy from 2004 to 2011, and she currently has her own active lawsuit against Diddy. Now, she did detail the incidents where Diddy put his hands on Cassie. However, there were some inconsistencies that were pointed out in Dawn's testimony, especially when it came to the skillet story. Now, she said Diddy swung a skillet at Cassie and abused her. And she said after the incident, Diddy threatened her and her group member Kalina not to tell and said that people go missing when they tell. But Diddy's defense kind of showed that her story changed a few times from what she said on the stand versus what she told the prosecutors versus what she said in her lawsuit. And there were some other inconsistencies that were pointed out as well. Not to mention, she was called out by Diddy's defense for reaching out to Diddy to work with him in 2020. Which actually made a good argument for the defense to say, why would you want to work with somebody who you claim threatened you and who you claim was volatile? So They did shred Don on the stand, but Don wanted to work with Diddy for the same reason why a lot of people in Diddy's circle wanted to work for him. They wanted money. And,
But is that money worth your life? I understand that they want the money, and I understand it may be rough for people at times and nowadays. But if you're in fear for your life, is the money actually worth your life, your soul, and your dignity, bro? Is it? You might as well say she's willing to sell her soul. If Diddy would have said, okay, yeah, you can come back and work with me, I'll work with you. But you think, bro, it would have got worse. Because now he knows her back is against the wall. If she's reaching out to him to work with him.
Even Cassie, even though she's very much a victim, she didn't stay around without getting some payment. You know what I mean? So people had an incentive to be around Diddy, and that's something we have to acknowledge. But with Cassie, it was harder for her to leave because Diddy did have control over a lot of aspects of her life. That is the truth. And Diddy had tapes on her, tapes that she's ashamed of. And she was a battered woman. She had battered woman syndrome. She was also a drug addict. She also had some form of Stockholm syndrome. There were a lot of things mentally that was keeping her with Diddy. You know what I mean? Even though she had the choice to leave, it wasn't easy to break away. And because Diddy did provide a lot for her, he felt like he owned her. And so, yeah, it was hard. It was hard, but money was definitely a factor, just like money was a factor for Dawn when she wanted to work with Diddy again. And she did a lot of songs for Diddy that she never was compensated for. So she's owed some money. She definitely is. Now, the prosecutors did bounce back with their next witness named Carrie Morgan. And Carrie was actually a good friend of Cassie's for 17 years. And she hung out with Cassie and Diddy, and she did witness Diddy abuse Cassie. She said she saw Diddy pull her hair, kick her, and push her, but Cassie never reacted. Sometimes Diddy would obsessively call Cassie's phone 50 times, and if she didn't answer, he would send his staff to reach her. And he would even call Carrie to look for her a lot. Carrie recalled one incident where Diddy kicked Cassie, and Diddy's right-hand woman, Christina Coram, and one of his security guards, Ruben, saw it and they wouldn't intervene. And Carrie and Cassie ran away from the house and hid by somebody else's doorsteps. There was also another incident that happened in Jamaica 2013 where Carrie said she saw Diddy drag Cassie by her hair down this 10-foot hallway, and he pushed her and her head hit a brick. And Cassie ran away to a wooded area, and Carrie had to find her. And when she found her, she waited with Cassie in a ditch for what seemed like hours. So they were in the woods hiding. Also, Carrie witnessed what happened after the hotel beatdown. When Cassie went back home, she was there with Cassie, and she heard Diddy bang on Cassie's door like 50 times. He raised so much of a commotion that the police was called. And when the police questioned Cassie, she wouldn't tell them anything. Carrie also asked Cassie why was she staying with Diddy. Cassie, however, said she couldn't leave him because he controlled everything, and she would lose everything if she left him. Carrie also said that most of Cassie's friends were either employed by Diddy or associated with him, so they had a bad influence on her that kind of made her stay with him. Carrie also detailed the incident where Diddy attacked her. He burst through Cassie's place, and he actually came behind Carrie, choked her, and boomeranged a wooden hanger at her head. Carrie at the time was staying with Cassie, but after that incident, she took her stuff and she left. And the following month, Cassie offered her $30,000 and told her to sign an NDA to keep her from suing Diddy. Obviously, Cassie did this at Diddy's instruction. Carrie did take the $30,000 and signed the NDA, but the meeting between her and Cassie didn't go well because Cassie downplayed what Diddy did to her, and she said, "You're exaggerating." And after that, Carrie was no longer friends with Cassie because she didn't feel supported by her. Now, the next witness called to the stand was Diddy's assistant, David James. David worked with Diddy from 2007 to 2009, so he did witness the early stages of Diddy and Cassie's relationship. He never saw Diddy hit Cassie, but he did remember that there were abuse rumors going on, and he was told to send food to Cassie's hotel room, but Cassie wouldn't open the door. Her staff did. And she was locked in her hotel room for a week. Allegedly, she was recovering. So you have the staff kind of covering up the abuse that Cassie was going through.
What type of abuse? So she had to recover from abuse and the freak offs. Her outside physical hurt and her inside physical hurt. Bro, that's got to be a nightmare. Nightmare, bro.
Also remembered one time when he and Cassie were on Diddy's Star Island, Cassie said, "This lifestyle is crazy." And David told her to leave. And Cassie said she couldn't because Diddy controlled her career and was in charge of everything. And so David admitted that Cassie really wasn't in a position where she could easily leave. And also David recalled a time when Diddy was talking to one of his business associates, and he said that Kim Porter, who is the mother of his children, was his queen, whereas Cassie was just moldable. Diddy said, "I got her right where I want her. She's young." So Diddy knew that he was taking advantage and controlling Cassie. And yes, Cassie stayed. She did stay, and she was even complicit in some of Diddy's activity. But Diddy's assistant said that it wasn't really easy for her to leave. David also admitted to stocking Diddy's bags with drugs. He would stock ecstasy and Percocets and even coke for Diddy to use and even give to his friends. And that kind of highlights how Diddy used his staff to transport drugs. Diddy's defense did, however, highlight that Diddy wouldn't ask David to pack coke for him. David would do that on his own because he felt like that was a part of his task. So that kind of incriminates David. Also, David confirmed that One Stop, who is Diddy's drug dealer, would bring drugs to Diddy and Diddy would take them and give them to his friends. That is a crime. And David said that One Stop was a notorious drug pusher, and he served even presidents with drugs, including President Obama. And I was actually shook by this. Not my president, President Obama.
No, bro.
This is all alleged, by the way, but that whole story was really shocking to me. Also, David said that Diddy tried to blackmail him too. Diddy had footage of him Diddy bopping. He was dancing and partying while he was on ecstasy and drinking Ciroc, and Diddy kept that footage to use to embarrass him and to keep him in line. So once again, Diddy is blackmailing people. Damn. That is a crime. Also, David faced intimidation when he was accused of taking Diddy's things. Diddy had his security raid David's belongings, and also he made him take a lie detector test from a former FBI agent. And Diddy did the same thing to his other employee, Capricorn Clark. He used certain people to intimidate his workers. Also, David confirmed the Suge Knight story that Cassie told, where Diddy and his security found out that his rival Suge was in the area, and he and his security got their guns. Diddy actually had 3 guns in his lap, and they tried to pull up on Suge. In fact, Diddy ordered his assistant David to drive them around on this shootout mission. It was so dangerous, and David said this incident caused him to leave. Now, the next witness to hit the stand was Cassie's mother, Regina Ventura. So Diddy tried to extort Cassie's mother. Diddy was angry that Cassie was dating Kid Cudi, so he threatened to release explicit tapes of her, and he also threatened her and Kid Cudi's life. And when Cassie's mother found out about it, she was sick. Diddy even contacted Regina and told her to give him $20K, and she and her husband had to take out an equity loan just to get $20,000 to pay Diddy because they were scared he was going to harm their daughter and release those tapes. Diddy is sick, yo. He is sick. Now, 5 days later, Diddy did send the money back to Cassie's mother, and I assume that he did that because Cassie got back with him, you know. Also, back in 2016, Cassie's mother, Regina, called the police on Diddy after witnessing Cassie and Diddy have a nasty argument. Diddy took Cassie's phone because she was talking to another guy, I assume, and Regina tried to hit Diddy, but Diddy's security, D-Rock, stood in between them. Diddy ended up taking Cassie's car away after that whole argument. So the whole thing was just messy.
Man, that's crazy, bro.
Diddy's defense did not cross-examine Cassie's mother. I thought that was very interesting because she proved that Diddy was blackmailing and extorting people and also threatening people's lives, threatening to cause bodily harm. He hired people to blow up Kid Cudi's car. It's so obvious that he's guilty of RICO at this point. Now, another witness that was very interesting was an escort that Diddy and Cassie hired for their freak-offs. His name is Sheree Hayes. He's an exotic dancer called the Punisher. He said that when he first showed up to the hotel, he thought he was going to give a striptease, but he walked into a whole freak-off with Diddy and Cassie. And of course, it started how it typically starts. Cassie pays him some money up front, and they started lathering oil on each other. You know, Diddy is the baby oil bandit. He loves to see people glistening with baby oil. So as Sheree and Cassie were getting it on, Diddy was in the corner, butt naked, jacking off, wearing a hijab. That's what Sheree said. He covered his face like a Muslim woman. Craziness. And he said he would get paid $2,000 for his little freak-off sessions with Cassie. And one time he was performing so well that Diddy stood up and threw cash on the bed and said, "I like that ish. Take that, take that." Now, what's interesting is Sheree actually wrote a whole book about his erectile dysfunction.
Oh my God, bro.
It's called In Search of Freezer Meat. And he did detail his experience with this rich couple that we now know to be Cassie and Diddy. And he said sometimes he struggled to perform with Cassie because Diddy was standing right there, and he was creeped out at the fact that Diddy was getting so turned on, and he thought Diddy was going to try to get at him too. And he didn't want any parts of that. He wanted to sleep with Cassie, not Diddy. And Cassie and Diddy made a huge emphasis on him finishing. They really wanted him to, to ejaculate. And so he did. And he suspected in his book that when he finished with Cassie, Diddy and Cassie had their own little session, and Diddy allegedly was licking off his semen. Allegedly. That's what he thought in his book anyway. But there was a point in 2016 where he failed to perform, and that was his last freak-off session with Diddy and Cassie. So he was dismissed, and now he has a book out about his erectile dysfunction, or what he would like to call his freezer meat.
Freezer meat? What the?
I really hate this trial, y'all. I hate covering this. But anyway, tell what y'all think about this video down below. Please like, comment.
Man, bro, that's crazy. Freezer meat. Now, what in the world? That nigga had, not typically, when you break for a company, right? Typically, they give you a little leeway. You might get in trouble once. You might get a little write-up, a little verbal warning. Nah, Diddy said, nigga, you can't get up, you fired. Diddy said, if you can't get up, boy, you out of here. Diddy got him going with the first mess up with the erectile dysfunction. But, bro, the drug mule that happens to know, bro, Barack Obama ain't on no daggone coke or nothing like that, bro. Hey, but we don't know. We don't know now, but he's human too. But I just found that hard to believe. Man, oh man. This trial is crazy to cover. I promise you guys, bro. It is crazy to cover. But that's what I do for a living. So, hey, I'm here for it. And I'm doing it for you guys as well as myself. Make sure we commenting down below. Make sure we liking the videos, you guys. Make sure we rock them, sock them that like button. I mean, slap that like button right in the face. Wapaya,